Battle control.
Hello and welcome to another gamecast of OpenRA. Today, finally a 1 versus 1. And in addition to that, I was told this is going to be a best of 3 between Yellow and TaylorSwift. So apparently they have decided to do this best of 3 and on this map called Doubles, which is not my favorite map, but when you're playing a 1 versus 1, then it is okay. The chokehold, which you can see here, is relatively wide, and it will be interesting to see how this will turn out to be. So again, Yellow is playing as Soviet, and TaylorSwift is playing as Allied, and so you have a classic Allied versus Soviet game. So initially they're going to try to contend for the middle part, and as you can see, of course, in the middle part of the game, the map, is the ore patch of which one can contest on. Of course, there are plenty of ore on both sides of the map, so they of course are going to expand quickly with ore refineries and ore harvesters early in the game. But Yellow will be the one to move forward to take an early command of this middle part. So we're going to see how will TaylorSwift reply to that. Well, he is going to build a war factory first, so he's going to get out his ore harvesters and most likely go for the ore around his own area. So, and the same, of course, I believe Yellow is going to do. He's going to build his war factory and... Oh, excuse me, that's the second ore refinery to take control of these areas. And actually he's going to move ahead with his MCV and really actually establish in the front here. Ooh, that's a ballsy move. We'll lose some production time, but if he can actually get a stronghold so close to TaylorSwift's area, it could actually force the game to a quick end. We're going to see here. Grenadiers is going to come forth and do some damage to the power plants. And there's no... let's see. Can he stop it with the... does he have... No, he has no defensive structures. They're going to take down one power plant, which will make the production problem for TaylorSwift. Not going to take additional damage, I would guess. Should be able to stop this, but the production that Yellow has lost by moving his MCV and also building a second ore refinery instead of a war factory has been gained through this small attack. Of course, also TaylorSwift is building 2 ore refineries first, and now he's going to move ahead with his own MCV. So it's a very confrontational start here in this game. War factory up front. Ooh, that's very risky, but he's going to get his flamethrower up, and immediately TaylorSwift is going to move back his own forces. Wow, this is an intense game. So, yep, he's going to build a power plant fourth. That means he should have a defensive structure ready. He does not want to lose his first power plant there, as he already does have trouble with power. But he's going to go down, but not before a barracks is coming up, and a turret should be able to destroy this flamethrower. Wow, and this construction yard is going to be heavily damaged. Yeah, it's going to move it back. Does not want to risk losing that. That would be game ending. Ooh, concrete walls. You don't see that much often in OpenRA these times. Wow. Okay, so in the meantime, you have Yellow with 2 ore harvesters there harvesting, but TaylorSwift have 3. So if he can just keep pressuring Yellow. I mean, doing like this, Yellow will be forced to spend more and more money on this attack with the econ disadvantage. So, but he's going to keep investing in these forces, building a flamethrower and a barracks to get more infantry out quicker. And yes, with these 3 turrets, it seems to me Yellow is going to have to move back. Turrets are very strong in this kind of base pushing, even though he's building concrete walls to stop this, but he's going to lose his war factory, it seems, since all 3 of these turrets are in range of this war factory, and even the 4th turret coming up here to start to attack the construction yard Wow. Okay, so I think it's a matter of time now before Yellow is going to have to move back. But if he does, that means he's going to be at a terrible disadvantage without his first war factory built. And yes, a lot of forces here for TaylorSwift. Going to move back, and all he has left is two rocket soldiers. And what is... why can't I use the numbers? Excuse me, I'm trying to figure out... Okay, there we go. So yeah, the huge amount of infantry here is going to be dealt with somehow. I mean, a flamethrower would deal with this, but that's a heavy investment on on defense when you don't have a war factory. And yes, might even lose this one. We'll see how he's going to get a flamethrower up before this goes down. It's going to go down, and that means, well, still 2 ore trucks can harvest from this area, so it's not a crisis. But the crisis is he cannot build ore harvesters, and I would guess the next, vehicle is going to be a ore harvester. So, wow. Okay. Well, he's going to be... This Soviet player is going to be playing from behind, and should not be able to win this game from how it looks like here. How will TaylorSwift go? Will he play safely? Well, he's going to build a ranger, or is he going to stay on the offense? And Yellow is actually building a war factory, so I think the best choice for TaylorSwift would be just sit back and just get his ore truck count up. Oh, he did actually get the 4th ore harvester, and now he's going to build a light force of rangers. Possibly the ranger is going to scout just see how far ahead he is. And for Yellow to come back, he is going to have to save up money, build a second ore harvester, ore refinery right there, and just keep on building ore trucks. He does not really have the funds to build a mobile flak truck. He is building up a force which it seems like he's going to go on the attack. What he could do perhaps is try to just gamble and go around and do his own damage. Again, TaylorSwift is getting his radar dome up and will be way ahead in his tech advantage. Let's see here, you can already see with this line of sight with his hind, he's going to be seeing everything. He does not know about the force he's building up. I guess you would be expecting him to... Well, I think that TaylorSwift would be thinking that Yellow should be trying to get back into the game, econ-wise. And he does, but it's very slowly, and does have a force. He's going to go around, trying to do some damage. So let's see how that goes. He's actually very vulnerable in this area. But a quick advanced power plant should make him safe from any what is the word? For making the production slower with lower power. And let's see, what is this next structure here? It is. Okay, never mind. It's going to come up. Yeah, I think so. But as you can see, now he sees that Yellow is fortifying, so he can just keep taking up. It's good. Yeah, there's the advanced power plant, and what he should do is just keep taking up, just building up his forces slowly, keep getting those ore harvesters, and he should be just fine. In the meantime, Tesla coil for Yellow, a big investment, 1500 credits, going to go down. Did not even have the power to utilize it, unfortunately. Has his own radar dome up and is going to build yaks from his new built airfield. In the meantime, artillery for TaylorSwift, very clumped up together. So if somehow these guys can do damage to one of these, you can have a chain reaction, and it's going to do major damage. Oh, loses everyone. Okay. The Hinds stay alive because they took down every anti-air that Yellow had, and now Well, he still has the control, but he lost like 5 artillery there, which does cost about 600 each. That's like 3,000 credits worth. And yeah, well, it does actually give Yellow a chance to come back. Even though that now TaylorSwift has built up a air dominance. Ooh, losing his one behind there, and with this Yak should be able to take on this, but now there's anti-air for TaylorSwift, so Yax is not going to play a big factor in this game no longer. Tech building is coming up for TaylorSwift, I would guess. Yes, it is an advanced, not an advanced, it is an allied tech center, which will give him the GPS satellite. He already has a service depot and most likely will get a new MCV to establish himself up front. Oh no, there it already is. There it is. And this should be the nail in the coffin, I would guess. Ah, Yellow proclaims, Yellow says GG. And that will make this game over. He has nothing, he has no forces, and he realizes that he can't possibly have much chance to do any damage to his opponent. Even you can see an AA gun coming up in the line of sight, so that's the end of this game. He did say GG, so I am going to stop right here and move on to the next game. So that's 1-0 for our friend TaylorSwift.
Battle control initial.
Okay, game 2 of TaylorSwift versus Yellow, and this time they have actually switched places. TaylorSwift playing as allied again, as playing on the left, and Yellow to the right playing as Soviet. And I guess they're going to stick with their factions during this best of 3. So, as I said earlier, TaylorSwift is leading by 1 point, and Yellow will have to win this game in order to advance to their best of 3. Not really sure if they decided to play best of 3 up front, or if this is just a 3 game played, which turned out to be a best of 3. Not really sure. These replay files was shared by NoobMapMaker, who was able to spectate this game. And so big thanks to him for sharing this game, and thanks of course to the players who are going to give us great games. These players are quite experienced, and we can always expect good games coming out of these people, these players right here. So, Ore Refinery first. No movement ahead for both players. Seems like Yellow is reconsidering his strategy from the last game. But they're both going to push their infantry ahead to avoid the other player to scout them. And I would expect both players to go ahead and take a war factory first. Seems actually there's an ore refinery building for Yellow. Looking at the speed of which you can see the building is produced. And I will guess he's going to build it right there. But in this case, well, it's going to move forward now. So that's why he built this ore refinery there. So he do not have to go back and build a ore refinery up as these patches, because he's going to move ahead with this MCV and establish himself in the front. And there's a war factory for TaylorSwift, so he's going to just use the same strategy. Well, actually last time he built 2 ore refinery, but he's going to build a little more third league game. Nope, he's not. He's going to move ahead also with his MCV, but at this time it looks like they're both going to establish themselves. What? Ah, okay, he's just moved himself further enough to get hold of this ore refinery. I mean, ore patch right there, because as you can see on the map, this ore patch is huge, and of course you want something done with that. But Yellow is the one who's going to move a little bit ahead to be in reach of this big field in the middle. But neither player are thinking about moving against the other just at the moment. A Ranger is built for TaylorSwift to get a quick scout of his opponent, and I would think that he's going to see TaylorSwift moving in the front. Actually, it's going to build a sub-pen. Wow. Ooh, he's going to move Grenadiers. That means he's going to... Oh, excuse me. He's going to actually go behind again with Engineers. This is such a good strategy, especially with such open maps such as this. And I don't see how it's going to be spotted. Of course, this is the spawning point of TaylorSwift, and rarely do you see a transport is being built so early just for this opportunity. But this is going to be exciting. Also building a submarine, so he's going to make sure that he is in control of this ocean, especially for the late game. It can be important when you think of this middle position. Okay, so let's see how this attack is going to commence. Okay, does he see that crate? Oh, that would be nice. He should take... Yes, he's going to take the man. You're kidding. Wow. Well, it's no rocket soldiers, but, you know, if you do this, you will have to... Wow. You will have to face... wow, it's going to go straight for the MCV. You will have to face your opponent's... wow. Your opponent's infantry, but with this extra infantry you get from the crate, there's basically nothing stopping it. If this Ranger is going to be taken out quickly, if you can just focus fire it, yes, it's done. And now, bam. Okay, so I mean, he lost. TaylorSwift lost his service depot. That's a huge loss. And now it's going to be stopped, but not before losing his ore refinery. Luckily, he does have another up here, but still, going to have to move. And actually, losing this service depot is so important because there's a lot of money and time spent on building that service depot. So his tech is put back significantly. Still has his war factory and barracks, of course, so he can still sort of do something to counter this. But I am not sure. I don't think he suspects that this came from the ocean, the sea. And so if Yellow wants, he can just take his transport, do the same thing again. But he seems to tend to tech. He is already ahead with his radar dome, so he's ahead on tech. Also have a healthy amount of ore harvesters. 1, 2, 3, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But with only one ore refinery with dispatch, TaylorSwift's economy is a little bit slower. Building a light tank now, and actually has 3 of them. That means he is very, very interested in doing some early damage. And he also is going to go behind, but in the back of Yellow's base he actually does have a barracks, so he's going to spot this coming. Unfortunately for TaylorSwift, so he's going to see that there are light tanks coming here, and they are going to be easily countered now that they have been scouted. Unfortunately, now light tanks can actually run over infantry as of the latest release, but other than that, if they are scouted like this, there's not much not much damage you can do with them. So easily stopped. Unfortunately for TaylorSwift, he cannot sort of get back at his opponent. Now actually Yellow is building a APC. He might want to put in some additional infantry and try to get back at TaylorSwift. Again, TaylorSwift is going to build his artillery and Hinds. Very normal strategy for allies these days. Just artillery, infantry and Hinds to get these line of sight. And he's going to now scout that there indeed is a transport over here. Yax is coming into in for the kill, but the AA gun is already placed. Luckily for him, he's not going to lose any Yax, but he's going to be able to do a great scout of his base, probably to scout before the APC. Excuse me, I know I'm sort of fumbling with the view here, but the switch between the players are 1 and 0, which are kind of far between each other, so that takes a little time to find the buttons. The Yax was well, one Yax was lost. One Yak was lost, but the APC should does not see any sort of a clear path for Yellow to find somewhere to go to. He could go down south here, but he does not know it, so we probably do not want to risk it. Well, Yak is going to explore south, I would guess, and the Hind is doing some damage as well. Well, Yellow has taken the opportunity to build up 2 airfields, so he's going to keep continuing building Yaks. Always a good idea, and on such a real, we can. Excuse me. You can, of course, there are plenty of ways you can go around your opponent's base and do some damage. Going to do a scout over with his spy plane, and should be able to see that there's not much here. If he actually decides to go around this area, he can do a lot of damage, even if it's just with the axe or with the APC. No more taking for Yellow as of this moment. He's not building anything else. With his surface support, he's going to build up a general army. TaylorSwift does have a healthy artillery account, but he he can't lose them like last time. Last time he just put up on front and just sort of hoped that nothing would happen to them. But the submarines has a good view of them, and it's going to lose. Yes, basically every one of them with yeah, without losing as much as one yak. That's terrible. Should have actually I don't know, push forward and protect his artillery. This artillery was basically everything he had left to come back in this game. Artillery, of course, the longest ranged unit in OpenRA. That's they are vulnerable like I don't know. They are like bags filled with plastic bags filled with gunpowder. They are incredibly vulnerable. Having 2 MCVs is TaylorSwift, and it does have 6 ore harvesters. Does not have a tech. I guess that should be a tech center from him. He does need it because currently he is behind, but with a tech center he could give himself a chance to get ahead, because yellow does not. Does the yellow? Does he see? Oh, does he see this? No, go for the tech center. Go for the tech center. Oh, this is okay. The Axe is going to come in anyway and take down both the MCV and the tech center. Wow, such a good play by yellow. That sort of nullified the only thing that TaylorSwift did have for him. The rest of the base is protected, so he cannot go in and destroy much else with his yaks, and neither go to the front. But in the meantime, also, yeah, he is building a strong army and has a very decent infantry count. So he is going to retain the lead massively during the game. A third MCV is coming out to try to reclaim the same area. Well, you do not want it shut down by these yaks, because when it is undeployed, the MCV has very little health. But the X is going to go back, and now the ore harvesters of TaylorSwift is going to go into the middle, and yellow has not. There is his second MCV, but he's just going to put it behind to protect his backyard. No, he's not building another MCV. He does not plan to go ahead and push TaylorSwift with this advantage. So another attack with his transport. And TaylorSwift is building a sort of like a mixed army as well. Rebuilt his tech center. Lost his power there. That's unfortunate, but that's due to the damage he took on the advanced power plant. Well, yellow with this huge advantage should be able to. And I say should because these games can of course go both ways due to unforeseen events, but he does have a massive econ. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ore harvesters. His tech is better, and I would guess that is a bomb building for yellow. And there's nothing TaylorSwift can do to stop his A-bomb from doing anything. He cannot go to the sea. Of course, he could build a naval yard here and start to take control of the seas. He does see that yellow does not have a subpen in his south, so a good idea to combat would be to build a naval yard there. He can of course not build it here because it's going to be immediately demolished. And these Hinds are actually scouting for any attacks coming from behind. He does have taken damage from earlier assaults, so of course you want to be very careful with attacks coming from behind. Yellow is playing very sneaky. In the first game, of course, he did the frontal attack, did not work out for him, but in this game, building an early subpen like this is not something you see very often, and in this game it worked out perfectly, because with this huge back area, early game you do not have either time or the place to really explore well, unless you want to heavily invest in some patrolling infantry. So yellow with the more creative play has taken the advantage of this game. as opposed to the previous. Now TaylorSwift has a pretty decent army, and and it's going to be met with with Yellow's army, which is they're sort of alike. And I do not see that any of them really wants to engage each other unless they see that they have the real advantage. Best, very good yak fleet, you can see there. And this is the second longbow from TaylorSwift. These are the great counter to the yaks. Of course, they are able to fire down the yaks, but this yaks is going around to look for targets. And will be scouted by these hinds. So if TaylorSwift reacts quickly, he can actually shoot down a lot of amount of these yaks. Oh, they're going straight. Took down the war factory. Oh, it's going to lose like every yak. Oh, and taking down the tech center made this, well, I wouldn't say worth it, but he did take down a lot of the power. Did take down the tech center. Which did not have launched the GPS satellite, which means that if he rebuilds the tech center, he will have to restart the clock on when the GPS satellite is coming back on. Did lose a lot of power, and his A-bomb, he was actually ahead at the A-bomb clock. He's still ahead, but that has been reduced as well. But he did lose like 10 yaks. That was crazy. And now that the orb patches are getting a little bit reduced on his side, he should not be too happy by losing that amount of yaks. There's a lot of money in there. So yeah, the longbow, of course, is going to chase down any attempt to go around with this yak now. I believe that he would want to put his hind a little bit further to just scout for these mass yaks. Of course, he shot down 10 yaks, so he should not expect the same amount coming in any further. But anyways, the ore patch is getting smaller and smaller, and each one's army is getting bigger and bigger. TaylorSwift with his nuke a little bit ahead, like 30 seconds or so before Yellow is going to... Oh, excellent! I love that. I love this yak suicide missions. Of course, if you take down... he took down like maybe 5 rocket soldiers and some infantry. In addition to that, when you kill some infantry, you get some credits as well. So it's well worth doing that if you can see that you get a good hit. I love this suicide yaks. Okay, so now, oh, look at this. We have actually 3 missile submarines, which are very good against buildings, but the problem here is that TaylorSwift does have command of the air where he wanted to be. If you can use these longbows, there's no yaks, there's nothing to stop hinds or longbows from commanding the area. TaylorSwift does not have much of an artillery. And with this heavy tank up front, he's going to go ahead. I would guess that is to destroy any artillery which is there. But now, squishing some infantry, very good. And yes, he realized that there's no artillery there. And now actually TaylorSwift is going to suicide his own medium tanks and infantry into this monster force of Yellow. Wow, that will mean that the army of TaylorSwift is gone, and so is his front. His artillery is not going to help him, neither is his longbows, which is not here. And that should be the end of the game. That should be the end of the game. This A-bomb is going to be destroyed. This force is sort of like a medium force right now, but still this is going to do tons of damage. It's going to focus down, the artillery, I would guess the power plant, to get access to the nuclear missile silo, and I would guess that TaylorSwift going to be calling GG any moment now. Don't think that even, let's see his view of the battlefield. Yeah, he should be. Well, he built his second ore factory, so he's not ready to give up yet. So he has 3 ore factories, but without this. Without this ore patch, he did also lose a lot of ore harvesters, so there's limited ways he can come back. with three war factory, then the production is reduced by 30%, I think. But what does it matter if you do not have the economy to back up? Of course, he's going to build ore trucks from them, trying to rebuild his ore truck count. But as you can see here, Yellow still has a very strong tank count, and of course he has his own nuclear bomb, right? Where is it anyway? Where did he build this nuclear bomb? He built, oh, there it is. So in 3 minutes, doesn't matter. Oh, fourth war factory. In 3 minutes, something is going to be demolished heavily. He is going to take out. Oh, not going. Oh, I might still take out the infantry. No, I don't think so. Take out the last advantage that TaylorSwift had. Would be disastrous. Well, you can see the same as me that this game is definitely over. He's going to move ahead his MCV to establish himself on front towards his side of this ore patch, which has not have been harvested yet. Just to secure his own win, you know, I don't want to take anything for granted. He certainly, Yellow certainly knows that he is massively ahead and does not have to take chances. He's just going to move ahead slowly with his huge heavy tank army, and now sees that the additional war factory is saying, hey, well, what are you going to produce out of these? Well, sells them, might as well. Still producing ore trucks, that is what he needs. Does actually build them up to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ore harvesters. But wow, I did not realize he did not take the back patch, which is something that he should have done or do, because now he only had like one scarce ore patch left, which all of these ore trucks is going to have to work on, since this place is completely unsafe. 1 minute 30 seconds to the A-bomb is coming, and if he does not GG before then, certainly going to GG then. Yellow is even repairing his heavy tanks. Don't really see that very often no longer, but that is certainly smart. Especially now that Yellow has all the time in his world. He can repair, he can... I don't know. He can do whatever you want now. You can just wait him out. You just should sit back in the chair and just wait for that counter to go down to 0. I mean 0. Not 0, because that is not a number. Alright, so TaylorSwift's going to try to recontest for this area, which can be troublesome. He has already seen the force from Yellow, so that is a huge risk. Well, you could fortify with artillery and... building actually a third MCV as well. If you could fortify... God, I can't talk now. Fortify with the rocket troops, turrets and some artillery. Well, you could see from his point of view that he still have a chance, but this MC is going to go right up here and take control of this area, because this is a lot of credits just waiting to be harvested. And of course with the longbows, if he does he still have longbows? He does not? No, okay, but still, he should be able to control this area and just try to get back in the game that way. This nuclear bomb is going to launch in a second. Wait, let's watch the launch. There it goes. There goes the launch, and there it hits. 2 power plants and a chronosphere. Well, why not? Take the only take advantage TaylorSwift has, and bam. Well, now what? Now what do you do? Okay, here comes the frontal assault. He has repaired his massive heavy tank count and is just going to go in with brute force. A lot of turrets is built, but it should not be enough. And this game should come to an end fairly quickly. Fairly quickly now. I guess he's not going to lose too much of his tank armor. It's actually going to retreat. Just to be safe, not to lose too many heavy tanks. Going to go to this point. And TaylorSwift reacts quickly with another turret. He really wants to... he really does not want to lose this game. But of course we can see that it is more or less hopeless. But of course, from TaylorSwift's point of view, he can still do a lot of damage to this force and perhaps come back this way. Does lose his, I think that was an ore refinery or heavy or advanced structure there. So it should now realize that this game is over. GG! Very good game, very good game. I really like this game. Thank you, NoobMapMaker. Thank you for sharing these games. I really like, yeah, best 2 out of 3. Okay, so it was in this game that this was decided. Excellent game. I guess, yeah, the next game is going to be on doubles as well. So stay tuned for that. It's coming in shortly. See you later.